This it is record. Oh man, I'm about to sneeze. I'm not gonna restart the video. It's a normal human reflex. Nah, it came and went. We've got a video by Sigma Teacher. I don't think it's Sigma Teacher. I think it's Sigma Traits. Channel I wasn't subscribed to, but I got a notification on my phone. God knows why. I looked at the video today, and because I was so creatively bankrupt, thought I don't know what to upload next. Came up, and it was meant to be. I watched about 5 minutes of this, and I thought it would be an appropriate video for me to do. I will keep pauses to a minimum, so the video doesn't drag out to 40, 50 minutes. Wearing my freedom hat today. All about freedom. Especially since I just read that there's a crackdown on unroadworthy cars, which is like AKA for anything that's got club plates, anything that's an older car, anything that's JDM, Japanese domestic market, any kind of tuner car, any car that's remotely louder than a Tesla. It's not good news for someone like me who has expressed in a couple of my older videos that I'm building a car. Quite a lot has been invested, and the last thing you need is a canary to get all those parts removed so you can maintain registration and road legality in this cooked state of Victoria. So we got our freedom hat because Texas is freedom.
What you doing at Westport tonight?
We're just hanging out.
And so, are you single or in a relationship?
Not gonna answer that one.
Look at it.
What makes me question the legitimacy of some of these videos, we'll say this video, is why is there so many intermittent cuts? I'm not talking about the camera zoomed in and zoomed out, but there's very noticeable cuts. And there's not one or two, there's multiple in the sense of 3 to the 4. And this is going to be like a 1 minute thing. So I just question how real they are.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Are you single or in a relationship?
I'm in a relationship.
With her? Huh? Hey, the camera right here, dog. Am I in there? Y'all not together?
That's what she said.
Anyways, let's keep them out. Bye-bye. Keep going.
See how many cuts there are? But I will say this. It's not a good look. It's not a good look, especially if she's sober, which she seems to be, at least on the sober side, and he's just outright blind. Alright, he's parched. He's cooked. He might be on more than alcohol. No woman is going to find it attractive. Indeed, she will probably find it repulsive. Just about every single woman. Younger, older, doesn't have to be a Western woman, even Western women. Unless she's on the same level of impairment as you, she's probably going to find it off-putting and definitely going to find it just outright unattractive. Embarrassing. If this is real, she's showing that.
You guys gonna make you Snapchat fucking famous.
Keep going. Keep going.
They say for like 6 months we're in a relationship. They say on camera they're not. I always feel bad for those guys. Looks like I was once. Thank you.
Alright.
I needed you more than you ever do.
Hey.
He was drunk, but sober enough to realize she wasn't the one. She threw away a man who can act that calm and rational in a situation like that, while he's drunk. Crazy world.
Yeah, he's defending that guy. he's twisted it in such a way that, well, look on the bright side. He's calm and rational. He didn't get aggressive. And he's drunk. So, like, props to him. He's being thrown away. Little do we know, he's just an outright alcoholic and she's had enough of him. He's drinking every day. This isn't like a one-off. I'm just saying, it's not a good look. One-off, alcoholic, any kind of substances, any kind of vice and addiction, no woman is going to appreciate it. No friend, male or female, family, it's just not a good look. Of course, maybe that's not the reason why she's embarrassed of him, or the primary reason. It could be a culmination of things. But I'm not going to defend anyone who's affected by some kind of a substance and to say, well, look at him. He just smoked a bong. Look at how good his driving skills are. Dude, you're impaired. It's unattractive and it ain't a good look to anyone.
A broke woman who makes no money, struggles to pay her rent and typical basic bills every month, calls men that can't send her to get her nails done a brokey or sassy. Delusion.
Never heard sassy.
I was paying for 11 years. For 8 years, the woman stayed at home. And to thank me for that, she cheated on me. Never again.
Men or women who...
How were you with someone for 11 years and you didn't even have kids with them at that stage? This Sigma channel, Sigma traits, link will be in the description, didn't even address that, were they married or not. Odd. A little odd. But, of course, that's no excuse for being cheated on. But with a lot of these things, that's why sometimes I like to unwind the point that I'm making. There's a lot of backstory that we don't know. She's staying at home, and for 8 years he's saying, so you put up with it for 8 years. And the way he said it, it's almost like, well, I was doing her a massive favor. Like, yeah, sure, you were. But what was she doing then? Was she at least paying half the rent? Even, was she working from home? If she was doing nothing, that, becomes my question of why didn't you start a family then? Why were you accepting of the scenario of her just staying at home for 8 years? And then you bring it up like, well, she stayed at home for 8 years out of the 11 that we were together. You have to take a degree of responsibility for the behaviors that you allow of the person that you're with. Why didn't you address it sooner? Why did you allow a whole 8 years to go by?
has a harder life?
Woman.
Women have a harder life?
Yeah.
Woman, yep.
Woman.
Why?
Because we have to deal with inequality for a long time and currently.
Oh man, when Western women start talking about inequality, go to the Middle East. And if all works out for you, you will not get horrendous things done to you and you will return home. And maybe, just maybe, you will see where some women are really fighting for equality. Where they are not allowed to have a driver's license, leave the house with a marginal amount of hair showing. They are covered from the eyes down and their head is covered as well. It's just a slit for the damn eyes. That's it, covered down to the ankles. Now those women can potentially talk about equality. And even then there will be risk and potential severe consequences if they start talking. These women, for all intents and purposes, could be in bikinis right now. No one would tell them that this is not allowed, you can't be dressed like that. Anyway, they're probably going to go on about pay gaps and things that you've heard before. But let me just tell you one more thing about equality. You have some kind of a domestic dispute with your partner, girlfriend, let's just say whatever. A girl you just met, it doesn't matter. Wife even. She calls the cops and says that she's scared of you, feels threatened. And I'm not saying you're smashing things or threatening her. You could just have a bit of a shouting match. She could be yelling at you, you've maybe raised your voice a little bit. But I'm not talking anything physical. And I'm not talking about any kind of threats that I'll do this, I'm about to do that. Just a bit of a shouting match. You've probably seen it on one of my other videos that I did based on Darius M's channel. If a woman calls the cops on you, the cops in here in Victoria, in Australia, they can put an interim intervention order on you, which will basically mean that you are not allowed to be near this protected person until your court date and until the intervention order is made final, which can at times take anywhere from a week to 2 to a month to get that court date. Which means there and then they become the protected person and you have to vacate that house, that property, and can't come back to it. And within 200 meters of it, mind you, or then you will be charged for breaking the law. So you'll have another, well, getting an interim intervention order isn't a charge, but it's still something you're going to have to go to court for. But breaking the intervention order is a charge. And I have heard of guys that have gone to jail for breaking them. Sure, there are bad guys that break them and actually then go on to do physical violence. But there are also guys that get kicked out of their own homes that they own. And that wife, that girlfriend, she gets to live there. And it's all word of mouth. It's all word of mouth. She could just say that she felt threatened, that she's scared for her life. She doesn't have to utter a lot of buzzwords. You will be evicted from your own house. And all that crap that they say, you can't come back without the presence of a police officer to collect your stuff, yada yada. It ain't that simple. A lot of the times, because it's a non-urgent situation, you might not even be assigned a police officer, because you think about it, a patrol car has to go to that place, supervise you as you're packing some stuff or whatever. 9 times out of 10, here in Victoria, especially if you live in a more rural area, like, where do you even go? What do you even do? It's one thing if you live in something like Melbourne, a bigger sort of town. Maybe you'll go to some kind of a motel, hotel. But even then, it might be up to a month. And you don't even know how the intervention order hearing is going to go. Is it going to go in your favour? You need to go collect something from the house. It might not go down as smooth. So women saying that there's no equality, they actually have more power than men when it comes to domestic disputes. So physical power sure might be on the man's side, but as far as in the eyes of the law, pretty much 99% of the time women are the victims. Even in a shouting match, you will be on the back foot.
You do so as well.
What do men have that women don't?
Basic human rights.
Which right do?
For instance,
Payments.
and you guys have free, I'm not gonna say what it is, but we don't have like the same access, for instance, to birth control. Like our
I'll let her cook.
And have access to birth control?
no, Viagra. For instance, your medical plan covers that, and my medical plan doesn't cover.
Okay, maybe in the US it's covered. I find that hard to believe. Look at the coincidence. So we have some sildenafil here. It's Viagra. It's a prescription. It's got my damn name on it. And it says here, full cost, $139.29. In USD, that would be about 90 USD. And you think you have a whole box of 50. You get 4. That's it. 4. Full cost, $139. So if you do have, I don't know, about private health insurance that would cover it. If you got a DVA gold card and maybe a pensioner's card, you can get it discounted. But $139 is the full cost. So don't get me started on medicinal Viagra being cheap. Maybe in the US, but in Australia, I assure you, it is not only not prescribed lightly, but it's expensive if it is. And then, after all that, some guys have negative side effects. For other guys, it doesn't even do anything. And that's totally different from birth control. She's saying Viagra is covered, but birth control isn't. Birth control is a totally different thing. Viagra, you are not popping every day. All right, that's why you get 4. It's like every now and again. Birth control is a pretty much everyday thing, as far as I'm aware, from women that I have been with, even that have taken birth control. If you're taking it in pill form, is every damn day. Otherwise, there's like those implants, which is still an everyday thing. Some of those implants are for like 3 years at a time. You're not given a 3-year supply of Viagra. It's just not the same thing.
Birth control.
Men take pain and smile. Women take pain and receive pity from others. We men don't even get asked how we are or how we feel.
What's a high-value woman?
A woman who
I'll let Sneeko cook. I will not interrupt. Let him cook.
knows her worth and knows she can do better than that, because there are men out there that aren't gonna want to see a whole bunch of women at one time.
Well, what determines a woman's worth?
I think a woman determines her own value.
See, that's the difference between men and women. Like, a man can't just determine their value. The world dictates how valuable you are.
The marketplace, you're saying.
Right. Like, women could just make up how valuable she is in her head and then just assume that the world should follow that. But we can't operate like that. Imagine if I said like that, I'm just worth that. Like, why? Because I believe it. Everybody would think that I'm delusional, but women can believe that.
Damn right did he cook. He grilled and parched and fried. Yeah, too right, mate. You've probably come across women that say, I deserve better. Buzzwords along those lines of, this is an ick. I need so much more. I need the list of X, Y's, and Z's from you. I deserve better. I just want to be happy. You don't make me happy anymore. I don't feel fulfilled. I want more from this. Yeah, Sneeko's spot on. I have never heard a guy reverse the roles and say that to any woman at any age bracket. From teens dating to 40s and 50s and 60s. I need this from you. I deserve better from you. A woman, if she's got the looks, if she's in the 7s, 8s and 9s, and those are unicorns, 9s and 10s in my opinion, she just needs to be attractive. She doesn't need to bring anything to the table. It won't even be questioned. As for a man, looks will only get him so far. Maybe in those early 20s, 19, 20, up to maybe 22, the younger women around that same age bracket will find you attractive, and they'll just want to sleep with you because they find you hot. They won't question your bank account. They won't care what you're studying at university, what college sports you play per se. If you're a really good looking teenage young man. But as you get older, as you start approaching late 20s and 30s, you got to have the looks, the fitness and ability in the bedroom, in the shower, on the floor. You got to have the money. You got to have the house. You got to have a whole plethora of things that ground you. If she wants to have a family, she will assess all those things about you. A woman will most likely take into consideration her family's opinion, her best friend's opinion, her guy friends, her girlfriends, her cousins. You're going to have to tick a lot more boxes as a guy. And as Sneeko's saying here, you have to essentially prove yourself day in, day out, mind you. Not just as you hit it off. To maintain that relationship, you're just proving yourself constantly. Whereas for women, probably what happened to Sigma Traits here, how he said his wife, or not even wife, girlfriend, sat at home for 8 years. Because that's what men are like. They don't put any kind of pressure and expectations on women necessarily. Whereas they always have that pressure on them. A woman, for the most part, if she maintains her appearance, if she looks good, and she knows this, if she's at least a 6, and again, I'm not even talking 8s and 9s, she knows that she can go out there and get about 90% of the guys out there. She knows that if she created a dating profile app, she put her best shots on there, she doesn't even need to pay for any kind of golds and platinums. She will just have matches. I've heard this from women who are 6s and 7s. And I'm not saying that's a bad rating, because the rating can go down to as low as a 2 and a 1. I've heard it from them. I've seen from at least one of them that queue, that hidden queue in the dating app, there is like 999 plus waiting in the queue. And some women have said, I just can't keep up with the messages. I cannot keep up. Anytime I log into the app, every right swipe that I do is just a match. It's just a match. It's just a match. It's like when you're applying for a high demand job and you think your qualifications are really good, but they run an AI program through your resume, and if one thing is a little bit out of place, they don't even read it. It's thrown out. And their shortlist has got like 100 dudes. So you're already like with a 1% chance, even if you get shortlisted. Whereas for guys, we think like we got a match, we get a notification once every 3 days. Holy smokes.
She absolutely evaded the question because she had no answers.
Girls tell guys exactly what they want with subtle hints. Example, I have left these flowers here for 3 weeks dead. They've been here dead on the table for 3 weeks, and I've been thinking, my boyfriend passes this table 6 billion times a day. He sees this 6 billion times a day. One of these times he's gonna pass by and think, the flowers are dead, they're crumbling all over the table. I think it's probably time to replace the flowers. I was sadly mistaken, as Justin Bieber said. I was sadly mistaken. And now I have to throw these flowers away, and I'm gonna probably get new ones for myself. I just feel like that was the most subtle hint I could have possibly left.
You know what your man's actually probably thinking is that you must really like those flowers because you're keeping them for a long time, and he's not going to touch them because you must really like them. Or he didn't even notice the flowers were there. Now, what he might notice is an empty vase with nothing in it. Maybe a little bit of water. Maybe try that. Or maybe just tell him what you want and don't make him read your mind.
Quick life experience story. One woman that really appreciated that I gave her flowers, even when they died, she put them in like a scrapbook and in a card. Probably burnt it and flushed the ashes down the toilet when all was said and done. But that was the initial thing. She basically framed those dead flowers. Other women that I've known could care less. They died and they get thrown out. Just depends on what kind of person you land on. It depends how significant it is. Were those flowers a birthday thing? Were they some kind of an anniversary thing? Or were they just a spur of the moment thing? Don't even read into it, man.
Imagine if she bought him a case of beer and he left all the empties around the house as a subtle hint that he wants more beer.
I made his note.
It's still a little different. You're not... Flowers, traditionally speaking, again, it's to commemorate some kind of significance. Getting someone beer, happy anniversary, beer, it's a little different. And again, like those creative ideas of like scrapbooking it, especially if it was synonymous with some kind of an event, you're not going to be scrapbooking or framing tin cans of beer, bottles of beer. It's a little different, in my opinion.
Bleed. Did he hit you? He hit me back and gave me a concussion.
Broke his nose?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you went through that.
Wait, you're sorry.
I'm just
what
saying,
do you mean?
like,
You're sorry
about that whole situation. Hard.
I'm sorry, did someone just donate $199 to this shit? Some of y'all are crazy. Oh, I just bit my cheek trying to talk like I'm from America. How can you donate $200? These dudes running this channel are probably millionaires. Or at least they got high six figures in their accounts. Donating them $200 just so they read out whatever you said? Do you really, is there really an answer that you need that is worth paying $200? And that was probably USD. Wild.
Domestic violence is a really big thing. Domestic violence. It's something to play with.
Who's the victim?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Was she the victim?
The guy.
Why did you hit him first?
Because
That sounds like victim blaming.
Why was he playing with you?
He was playing with
Why? It's not okay for her to be hitting somebody. It's not okay for her to hit somebody.
ignored the guy
I'm not saying that either.
back. So I'm saying, like, who's in the wrong?
Were you hospitalized with a concussion?
That's not the point.
Wait, did this actually happen?
No, this actually happened, yeah.
Okay,
She made his nose bleed.
No. She broke his nose. Not just a nosebleed.
She said
broke his nose. No, she said broke.
I broke his nose, and then he hit me back because, so, like...
No, absolutely not. Not justified.
No. For him to hit her back.
For him to hit me back.
For him to hit you back, was that justified? A man should never hit a woman. This is why.
20 times
They're going to give you a concussion. You guys want to end up in jail.
She committed domestic violence. He acted in self-defense and in the spirit of equality. Basically, a feminist.
It could have been a knee-jerk reaction too. That actually is a justification. It would hold up in court. Knee-jerk reaction. I'm sure you know the term, so I'm not going to break it down for you, but he just reacted. He actually reacted. His reaction was quicker than the fact that it was premeditated. I'm going to punch this chick. He got hit clearly hard enough for his nose to break, and he potentially reacted. That would hold up even in this cooked state of Victoria. More than likely. Now, if he got hit and had his nose broken and there was a lull of, say, 5 to 10 seconds, let alone more, and then he smashed her, hit her, and that can be proven, yeah, that ain't self-defense. So self-defense depends on how much the prosecution investigates stuff like this and what kind of lawyer you have, but take my word for it, if it's a knee-jerk reaction, it can be self-defense, but if it was after the fact... some time had passed since you were punched and you're not being repeatedly attacked, I'm afraid self-defense is out the window. It's kind of like if someone breaks into your home and you chase them out the front door and you were to hit them, God forbid, they get killed, brain damaged, you could be liable for something like second-degree murder.
There's been so many times where women say to me, it's like, oh, I told him I want a divorce, but hoping he'd come back for me, but he let me pack my bags. So sometimes they file for divorce or take it that far as a way of testing their partner. And if they're with quite a healthy partner, they'll think you mean it.
So many women try to... I like when she said this.
Sometimes they file for divorce or take it that far as a way of testing their partner. And if they're with quite a healthy partner, they'll think you mean it.
The easiest way to lose a confident man who knows himself is to use this type of strategy. It only works with guys who aren't sure about themselves or are dependent on their spouse. Don't try it with a mature and secure guy because you are going to lose him.
Test their men constantly.
It's an evolutionary thing because here's the reality. Childbirth is potentially fatal. So to put that risk onto a relationship, he better be able to endure all types of storms. Yeah. So we have to...
Give me a break with the childbirth is potentially fatal. If it was as fatal as this is being exaggerated, the human race wouldn't be here. Given all the medical infrastructure that we have now, I'm not disagreeing that it's not painful. I'm sure it's really painful. I do admire women, especially women that give birth to multiple children. I know some have a really difficult time childbearing. The birth can be more dangerous for some women than others. Some women can give natural birth quite easily. There's plenty of videos out there where women just going to the bathroom, not thinking anything of it, baby is in the bowl. But this emphasis on it's really dangerous and it's an evolutionary thing, give me a break, all right? Everything is dangerous. People that step out of their house can get killed. And little do they know that this will be the last time I'm going to step out of the house. Little do they know that today I woke up and today will be the day I get cleaned up at a red light lightning strikes me. I get diagnosed with a terminal illness because my blood test results came back. Some people in their 30s, even late 20s, just drop dead from cardiac incident. So just give me a bit of a break about this childbirth as potentially fatal evolution, all right? Because thousands of years ago, there was no medical infrastructure, and yet there's still the human race exists. There are outliers where it can be fatal. I don't disagree, but let's not make it out like women are just dropping like flies during childbirth.
Test them. So we have
So they evolved, therefore, to shit test men all the time because they want to see if a man can handle X, Y, Z, nuances and tantrums and arguments and conflicts. They'll threaten divorce. Give me a break, all right? Childbirth is not an excuse for mental instability.
Fortunately, test them. We have to test, are they going to be faithful, financially stable, have their own boundaries. Now, the problem is, unfortunately for men, when we push you and you succumb to us, you automatically lose us. What we're saying when we're pushing you is really make sure you don't give in to this, because if you do, then I know you're not strong enough.
Oh my God, give me an example.
It might be something like I push a man to say, I'm going to come home when I want. I'm going to come on girls' trips. I'm going to do whatever I want. And then when you actually give in and say, okay, essentially she feels like she's not being protected. So she feels like nobody's got.
That's wild. What a spin on things. So she managed. This chick is crazy. She manages to twist that into not feeling protected and secure. I argue that she simply doesn't respect the man because of his tolerance. She feels like she can walk over him. And that to her is unattractive. That's, I think, the words that she means to say. She's just making it out like it's some primal thing. She's bringing her back to primitive instincts. Nah, she just doesn't respect you because she can walk over you. She doesn't feel like you're in charge, and she can see that she is.
Governing her.
You don't have a spine.
You're not responsible. Or she might say, I'm talking to my ex-boyfriend, and you say, I don't feel comfortable with that. She's like, no, you have to, I have to. Fine, he accepts it. Essentially, she's saying that you don't mind if I have an affair. Bye. Essentially, what we're begging for sometimes is the boundary. We're not looking for you to bow down.
Wow.
So hard for men to figure that out.
Right.
I feel so bad for men. It's like reverse psychology all the time, unfortunately.
I will let 10,000 women go if they try that. A healthy woman shouldn't be asking for divorce unless she means it. It's a serious matter. A good man, at least in my culture, will tell her to take space, maybe spend time at her parents' home, to think whether that is what she truly wants.
Yeah, maybe in his culture. I think he's referring to Middle Eastern culture here. That's true, because generally Middle Eastern women have good relationships with their parents, like father and mother. Otherwise, in Western culture, I don't find this to be a good example. Take some space. More often than not, you'll hear the woman saying that she needs to take some space rather than you suggesting it to her. I don't agree with that in Western culture. Your girl tells you that she needs space, especially if you're married. Major red flag that she needs some space and needs to think about it. That's the moment where just about everyone who isn't you can whisper in her ear. And you best believe her girlfriends, oh gosh, God forbid you don't have a fantastic relationship with her friends, maybe guy friends. God forbid there's a guy friend out there that doesn't like you. People can potentially, this is the moment where her taking space, she will be susceptible to all the noise around her. So you best believe her taking space is actually not going to go in your favor at all.
They also risk getting the boundary enforced. Guys with a backbone and options won't try to control you. We will just let you go on your way. If you're going to give an ultimatum, be prepared for the worst case scenario.
Look, I'm very firmly against divorce. I'm not saying you should just dive into marriage either, but I'm quite against divorce. So my stance on it would be, of course I would fight for it. I wouldn't just, options aside, money aside, especially if kids are involved. I don't think you're being the bigger man by, going your way. See you later. Let's just break up the family unit because I got money, I got options. I'm not even 40 yet. I'm not saying push, pull, scream, drag her by the hair, keep her locked up, chuck her in the basement. Of course, if she's ultimately going to want to go, she's going to go. She's ultimately going to take on board information from her friends, family. You can't control that. But to an extent, I think as a guy, you should fight for it to a degree. I don't think it's showing grade A backbone by just saying, see you later. Cool. Like we got 2 kids here. You can go. I don't think that's the appropriate solution either. You should be able to communicate effectively, if it even means that you have to communicate with some kind of mediation present, whether it be your family, her family, or actually go and see a relationship counselor just to show that effort. But a lot of the time, relationships generally fall apart because of ineffective communication first and foremost. Ego gets in the way.
My first wife gave me an ultimatum. She left me a note saying to get out because she wanted a divorce. The relationship was going very badly at the time. I packed my stuff and left that day. She called later, wondering why I had left. I never saw her again. No kids in the relationship. She had nothing to hold over me and overplayed her hand.
See, I don't agree with that. He said his wife of 11 years and 8 years she was staying at home doing nothing. You're just going to walk out on an 11-year relationship because she left you a note saying get out? Again, he said it was building up to it. It was going pretty bad. But I don't really hear from him that he really tried to talk it through, talk it out. It just sounds like complete ineffective communication, like a complete stalemate. I mean, if we're getting to the point where we're leaving notes to get out, you're evicted, that just goes to show that there wasn't any kind of active verbal communication.
There's been some great work on what behavioral markers predict divorce in couples counseling. Really solid work. Okay, so here's one predictor. When the couple is talking in front of a therapist and one of them or the other or both roll their eyes, there's like a 95% chance they're going to be divorced within 6 months. And that's contempt, eh? But here's another cool fact from that research. If you have people track the number of positive and negative interactions with their partner.
Why are they rolling their eyes? Because they don't respect what's being said. If the woman is rolling her eyes, she doesn't respect your point of view on whatever it is you're saying. And if you're rolling your eyes, you very likely aren't respecting her point. Even though you might think it's absolutely batshit crazy, you start going like, you're just not taking it on board. That's what that shows. And if you don't respect each other in your marriage, your relationship, it can't be remedied. I'm surprised the stat isn't 100%.
You can calculate ratios, and then you can see what the ratio is that lends itself to the successful maintenance of a relationship. And so you might think, well, the more positive interactions, the better. And that's kind of true. So if it falls below 5 positive to 1 negative, the relationship is in danger.
Yeah.
But if it rises above 11 to 1, the relationship is also in danger. Well, you want support and love, and you want most of your interactions to be positive. But you want your partner to slap you now and then when you're being stupid.
The 4 horsemen of relationship destruction are contempt, stonewalling, defensiveness, and criticism.
My own dreams?
No.
Who cares about that? I'm going to live out my dreams vicariously through my children. They're the ones that matter. These helicopter parents today have it all wrong. If you don't let your kids fall, how will they ever learn how to outrun others? I've been reading online about how to be a healed parent and break generational curses, but there's so many expert opinions out there. I'm so confused. I just don't want to mess my kids up. The world is so unsafe right now for kids. Everything is so expensive, and I have my own issues. Why would I drag a poor innocent kid into this mess?
We really are doomed as a society.
Who loves more, men or women?
Men.
Why? Why do you think so?
Because I guess when they think about love, they just thinking about the woman, but we think about a lot of details, not only about the man. We think what he has, is he smart, what about the future with him, can we make a family with him? But the man, like, if I love, I don't care about her.
That's a keeper for sure. We men need to protect her at all cost.
That was just a woman saying what every woman thinks. That's not unique. What's unique is maybe that she vocalized it, but that's what they all think. I've said this in other videos. Men need to be loved. Women need to be wanted. And I was already saying in this video earlier on that they're gonna, with what Sneeko was saying at pretty much the start, women can claim that they deserve X, Y, Z better, for you to be so and so, for you to bring such and such. Whereas men don't have the right to say that. Men have to essentially prove themselves every single day. So this woman, that wasn't unique at all. They all think that. She just said it on camera.
For feminism and bullshit ruins her. Thanks for watching Sigma Traits. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do some gameplay tomorrow. Just haven't felt the urge. See you in the next one.